Getting in all this, Darth Rabbit 07 comes to you today with one more Combiner Wars, United Warriors, and the new Bruticus. I'm going to get them on the three-way kind of thing going on here. Look at each component I got. Obviously, I'm missing Swindle with the newest version, but we'll look at those other ones from the regular Combiner Wars, the United Warriors, and then also the Age of Proms. I couldn't come up with it. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Thanks again for watching. Let's turn this camera around and take a closer look at all three. And here's a look at the Unite Warriors box. They did this so good. Mr. Takara, thank you for doing this the right way. All the combiners in one box all together. And we'll take a look at the side of the box and see that stuff there. And if we keep going on around, I've got the actual US release right here all together. And they were definitely released at retail in separate packaging, and that's the weak spot. But on the back of the box, you got each of those little things, and I got little captions. I'll put up one for this side over here, one for this middle stuff here as I get it all fuzzed up, and then I got this two up there, and finally this thing down here. You can pause that and take a look at that all together. But the thing that whenever they released it in America, they did Blastoff in more of an earth mode that looks like, and it is pretty much the Firefight combiner mode. Yeah, it's Firefight. And yeah, so there's that. And it Firefight slash slingshot, because it looks like a Harrier and a F4 Phantom E combined together, and has one little retractable landing gear there, the nubs in the back, and I use that back there as like an extra set of thrusters. And it's something you could do just to kind of store it all. He's got everybody else's weapon here, and I'll look at the box close up there to get those straight later on. It's like they had half hollow and half detailed, and that was kind of aggravating. Again, half hollow, half, well, the other half, yes, it just depends. This is where it started, you know, hollowing out or whatnot. Really solid deluxe, bigger, it feels bigger, but we'll get to that comparison here in a minute with the newer stuff. The tampos were done really, really well here. The paint, a little bit they used there was nice. Tampos of the Decepticon logo on each side of the dorsal fin. And take that combiner thing off, you had like a single thruster engine. And I believe the Phantom F4 has like two nozzles there, but then the Harrier has like one thrust thing there anyway. Or you can put that on there and you can have that going on. Like I said, I mean, you could be creative with it and whatnot. Then you had Swindle. And this is the closest thing I guess they got to his cannon. And it's still kind of just like crazy. And then of course him being, you know, subspace. Let's make a deal person, you know. There's that. So there's your right side. You got Onslaught. Has some Bruticus visible head syndrome for the most part. Bottom of it, how that looks there. I mean, these things look sharp, and I was so excited to get this because I liked Hots. It was Protect the Bots Hotspot that had this going on with him or whatnot, but like they just took it and reversed it, and yeah, really, really, really nice. I mean, I think this is the tail end, and this whole thing is the fire apparatus, and it does the same kind of swivet pendle. You can also do that little thing where you stand them up. I don't know what it is. It's about Onslaught being a stand-up character, but he really is. Then we go move on to Vortex, and I didn't like the bright yellow missiles here, so then I did something on the very first copy of it. This is the second copy, and I retained this just to have a clean version, and here's what happened in my story here. It was my first foray into customizing, and I took the lower arms off, obviously. I threw them in rubbing alcohol and it just melted it or whatnot. So that didn't turn out good when I went to go paint it. This is what I got. And that's why this looks so much different than this, because I melted it in the alcohol. Too strong of strength, and it just definitely cooked it. I learned my lessons there to whenever I did the Jetfire. I think it was from Combiner Wars, that or the Thrilling 30. And I wanted to get rid of the metallic and just have them be that natural red. I mean, thankfully, one, it had the red plastic underneath that was not metallic. I didn't like the way that looked, so then it helped me not melt that Jetfire, and that Jetfire turned out great. This is my first foray into customizing, and it sucked. All that said and done, here are the two of them side by side, And you can see how I jacked that up. So there's that. Lastly, we got Brawl. Nice tempo there. A very nice tiny tempo in the front there. This whole combiner piece is doubling for the double cannons there. And yeah, the only articulation you got was a little bit up there with this thing. I think it actually came off to be a handheld pew pew. You could also use this as a handheld pew pew. And of course, for the combine mode, it rocks forward there and you pop out the little combiner peg. So I didn't realize that this thing was so fixed until just picking it up and fooling around with it all these years later. It did have the rolling wheels on the bottom. And so, yeah, you could do that. And then, yuck, right there in the back. I desperately needed to get a hold of the upgrade kit, but I didn't. And I might try to find the hands and the feet kind of thing. And I can't believe I knocked that sideways a little bit. I think it just goes, it's their weapons, but I just got it on him because places to hold it, that kind of thing. So that's that set all said and done. We'll get those guys out of the box. What I love about Unite Warriors is it all comes in this nicely packed combiner set. You have these little push points that you can actually tab things back together and show it off like this. And we can zoom in on that real quick here and take a closer look. And that is a lost art, packing the whole combiner team. One purchase, I think it was like 150. It might even been like just $100. But that set totally rocks. 120 tops, I want to think. I can't remember. It's been 10 years ago. So anyway, I just know that whenever I got this other, not having Blastoff as a space shuttle, that kind of stung and burnt. And then these are tune accurate colors as the other thing that was toted. So let's get them out of the package. There's both the Combiner Wars is on the left, and then on the right is the Unite Warriors. So that's the whole group shot. We're going to start with Swindle and pick on him first because we don't have the third version of him. Here is the Swindles up close and personal. You got the Combiner Warriors there, and you got the Unite Warriors over here. And you can see that the roll cage is black on that one, silver on that one. This has got more of a tune accurate deco, and it's pretty much how they look in the vehicle mode. They did the clip system differently here, where this is through the thing in the hub there, and then it's differently. It's so weird how they did the wheels there. I love the details throughout on both or whatnot. A little bit more paint made it pop, and it did the same thing here, but they painted them silver. So you got one thing that spins in the middle on the front, and the other one doesn't move at all because it's those awful things. So there's the rear end of its ugly head there. Next, we're going to go to the reason why I got the Unite Warriors to begin with. We're going to look at Blastoff because that's a little controversial, and then we actually have the third version of that, and we'll just keep going on from there. One moment, please. And here's a quick look at Blastoff in both the Combiner Wars and the Unite Warriors version. We got a shuttle with the Unite Warriors. It's the whole reason why I got the set. I wanted that versus this. And in hindsight now, this was not as bad as this. This is a little floppy of a mess. The wings don't stay locked in place. These little feet vectoring things flop. I do like how it reminiscent of the boosters that went on the side of the space shuttle on the main engine booster. But yeah, it's just his freaking arms laying out the side of it. It's kind of lazy looking like that. And very, very crazy how they use the gun as front landing gear, and this thing flops constantly. And then I've already rubbed the paint off because I like to fly and play and stuff, and then I was like, oh shit, I can't do that anymore. So anyway, you got the foot up here being like and whatnot, and very swishable even still. This earth-based mode, I appreciate it more now in hindsight because it is a more earth-based, and it was a brave choice because he's supposed to be a space shuttle, and I like the coloring on him, period, exclamation point. So then that's how I got it all tucked up in what I did there. So now we're going to look at the third version of Blastoff and see that it is vastly superior to both the other Blastoffs, as it is a better shuttle than this guy, and the colors are darker than this guy. So spin around on the back side, and you do get all four just like it is in the animation. This didn't make it back here. This was, like I said, a brave choice there. And I don't think he's got any well, he does got one little landing nub there that likes to keep moving. and he's got the little nubs back there in the back, but that integrates into the exoskeleton when we get to that point there. And so that's all three versions of Blastoff. Let's get on to Brawl next. And there's Brawl on the turntable, Combiner Wars Unite Warriors, and a quick spin around. You got the tempo there, you got the no tempo here, but you got tempo there, and they changed the color of that, I guess, to blend in with the combine mode. We'll look at that when we get to that point in time. Like the way that looks, it's just like rides up a little bit. Neither one of those like actually articulate like in horizontal fashion. They both do the up thing a little bit, and then you can rock that back a little bit more, and that's your pew-pews. But that's where I feel that the new version, even though I don't like it as good as I thought I would, let me just get out here and show you what I'm talking about. It's dubbed a Voyager. These were deluxes, and see, this is what I'm talking about. The Voyagers are getting smaller. They did the Voyager classification because he does got a combined mode tilt built into it that integrates with the exoskeleton again. And well, it does got the more G1 blasters there, and that's his thing. But this is Vortex's. So when he rides on the back of the newer Onslaught, which we'll do next, it has a place to store. He just has places to store the extra pew-pews, and even over here, that's the same thing. You can do it on the sides if you decide to. And I don't think he's got any visible Decepticon symbols to denote, but I mean, usually military vehicles are bad guys anyway, so I'm going to have to repro label him somehow, some way. And there's really not a spot to do that, because I do believe this is also, anyway. This gets closer to the G1, but then it has to do the exoskeleton, and it's the only way that they really do it. But like I said, this new Age of Prawns version wears the exoskeleton good, where these are just, you know, plug and play kind of thing, Scramble City to the maximum extreme. All right, let's take a look at Vortex next, and then we'll get to Onslaught. And now we're up to Vortex, and this is their helicopter modes. He has 2 blades. He obviously has 4 blades, and you can articulate those out to be like G1 again. And I want to say that this guy's animation accurate. This is more toy, with the toy head, and I like the way that that does better on that side. I'll take a quick spin around through there. They got the GATS combiner foot used as a display stand, so that he's always in kind of a hover mode. He's got an extra Decepticon symbol here, not there, not on the tail fins, but on the tail fins. So they kind of do like each other. He looks more like Airwolf to me because of the darker color. And yeah, so he's a, oh my gosh, he's a Black Hawk helicopter. This looks nothing like a Black Hawk helicopter. It looks more like Airwolf with extra sets of big missiles. All that said and done, let's get Onslaught on the turntable next. Wait a second, hold the phone. Got to bring in the third guy that does look like the Black Hawk to a degree, bit better, except for the gaps on the sides. He has the exoskeleton, so he doesn't need to store a fist or a extra set of pew-pews. The pew-pews actually do like his G1 counterpart, and that just went off there, and I hope it didn't break. He's good. He's still very, very good. He's good to go. And so focusing back here on this guy, he looks more like a Black Hawk. He's got the pew-pews back on the sides like he's supposed to. This spins pretty good. I don't like the clip system like there. They got a pin here, and that spins super, super good. Best of the 3, except for that bottom with the weak-ass landing gear, but it does integrate back into that. And then you do have a landing gear in the back of his head here. That makes for the third piece of the landing gear, so you can land him on set. And you can still spin that blade, and that's really, really awesome. I think these guys will still spin, even though they're close together, and so will that. But the best spin of the 3 is definitely the newest one. So how it's grown over time, difference between more paint used and then the American version, and boom. Now let's get on to Onslaught, the main attraction of the group. And here is Onslaught, Combiner Wars and Unite Warriors, and I just love the way this one looks. It just pops, the way that they got the stuff painted and what have you. You can see that Bruticus is manning the Bruticus head's manning the pew-pews, and you got some unholy got space back there. I think that's where, even with the third one, it might be a little weak in that category. These guys have the combiner ports hidden back here, And I can't remember the hotspot if these folded over and covered that up or what have you. This is actually the knees on this other one here. And you can see that he's missing his pew-pews, but we can fix that in just a moment. And the new Onslaught is definitively the king of the road commander class due to that nice exoskeleton trailer. Does all the bells and whistles just right, except for the return to the clip system for the wheels, as these two are pinned on each side, but not the outer two, front and back. I mean, that just kind of stinks. I mean, even this guy had the reverse clip system and it had a solid looking hub. And then if you spin on around here, you had the painted hubs there with that same clip system. It rolls fairly good. Better than, say, these guys here. And yeah, these just, they barely spin when you do it manually. And yeah, I just wish that they would stop with the clip system and with the wheels. Just like with the flying guys, they should have landing gear with rolling wheels. Anyway, I don't know. People say I should start collecting Masterpiece, but I mean, the retail should do better. I mean, this is the year 2026 and we're reverting backwards just a little bit and a touch. But I mean, this one is the best of what these guys have to accomplish to holding everything together. This guy does it really, really good and clean. Let's get these guys converted over into robot mode and take a look at the whole team that way. We're going to do this outside because it got really nice again. Here's both Combiner Wars and Unite Warriors together on the turntable, looking really good in their own rights. Nothing super egregious outside of that canopy on the back there. Purple's supposed to be more on the chest, and they do try to integrate it where they can. I think they do it better over here than they do over there, and then it's like the different pieces all together. For some reason, it's got a gang molded purple. Anyway, I don't understand the logic behind it, but that's what we got there. I'm going to move this out of the way and try to pop in a picture of the Voyager that we got coming out in Age of Primes, and we'll go from there. Let's get on to, oh my goodness, I think it's Blastoff next. And here are all three versions of the Blastoff. So we're going to do a little spin around the corners. Let's see how the kibble does on these other two outside ones. And this one back here. And the Combiner Wars, or the Combiner Wars and the United versions don't have any wrist swivels or whatnot. They all three have waist swivel, upper thigh swivel, the knees do their thing. They all kind of do their Combiner Wars. He does it differently from these two guys, but it's essentially the technology integrated back there. He does got wrist swivel out of all the other new combaticons, not Onslaught, not Vortex, not Brawl. They don't have wrist swivel, but this Blastoff in Age of the Primes does, and that's just a really weird coincidence. He has the G1S chest. He has a nod to it there, and of course he was his own thing. So that's about going to do it for Blastoff. We're going to get, was it Brawl that I'm going to get next? Yep, let's get Brawl up next. Here's the Combiner Wars, the Unite Warriors, and the Age of Primes versions all on the turntable together. I told you this guy is just a deluxe from like 10 years ago in Voyager packaging, and it's due to this one little joint right here, this little bit of extra articulation that I really wish, I appreciate that. They could have also incorporated a wrist swivel while they had it in the balls there. I think they got it in the upper bicep there. I don't like it when they disguise that like that. All three of these have the ankle rockers and whatnot. They get the Combiner Wars legs. This guy does it more neat with the way the treads fold up there in the back, and it also incorporates into this combine mode and attaches to the exoskeleton. Really freaking cool. All right, guys, that's about enough what we got with Brawl. Let's get to Vortex next. No matter how you try to spin it, this one does it better than the Unite Warriors when it comes to backpack kibble. Actually, this guy just crushes them because he can still spin his blades in this mode too. So you can get the traditional X there or what have you. The articulation is better in this guy just due to better engineering around the hips there. The forearm kibble annoys me with the Age of Primes one, and
I just don't like it when they stagnate the wrist and stuff. But I mean, it's like they're reverting back. Instead, the engineers are reverting back, and they're giving it less movement. Articulation it went leaps forward with the siege and all that other stuff, and here we are in Age of Primes, and we're reverting back to some Combiner War stuff. It's very sketch, very, very not welcome. All right, guys, we got to get Onslaught on the turntable next. As I was transforming these three together here, I was thinking that the new Commander class one was going to be smaller, but he's actually just a head taller than these tall looking chaps right here. Now, if you miss transforming the legs, these guys will be taller, the Combiner Wars and the United versions. But I think the Commander class one has them outgunned. Lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels, or actually 4 smoking barrels, or however many you want to count there. 2, 4, 6, 8. Anyway, that is awesome. I mean, you can see how that stacks up. They all got that little bit of a hollow spot there due to their transformations. I like the reuse of the hotspot mold to get an Onslaught, and you do have you can take those off and use them as handheld pew-pews, but this guy comes with all that bass, no treble. So there you go, guys. There's only one thing left to do. Let's get these guys, all the teams combined. One down, 2 to go. Unite warriors, form Bruticus. Oh no. Unite warriors, Bruticus, angry. And one more to go. Here we go. Bruticus, angry. And that's a whole lot of Bruticus on the turntable. It's been a lot of fun pulling these older figures back out, but I can just tell you clearly right now that these are so loose. It's beautiful, but very loose compared to the construction that is put into this guy. This guy is going to be supreme, especially when he gets Swindle. And I don't even want to disgrace that spot with one of these other loosey-goosey deals. I still love the old, but man, I'm glad the engineering got better and changed, because this doesn't have, these other two do not have any waist swivel whatsoever. They cheat to get the arms to do this stuff. It's an ambitious effort to be sure. They should have had ratchets in there. I'd like to see them upgrade, updo them, or somebody, you know, do it right and give them the articulating fingers and hands and that kind of stuff, even if it is parts formery. But I need to get a DNA kit that does the magic square fingers things for this guy, and I got to get a hold of Swindle in the near future. Other than that, this guy is the clear-cut winner, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this versus look at this. I mean, whenever you can do the whole spinning thing and stuff like that, and you don't have to worry about the other stuff getting in the way like you do with these two guys. I mean, that one doesn't even spin. It just locks into place. And there's extra blades just hanging off and flying off everywhere there. So, but yeah, this guy is awesome. And I may have to let those other fillers go, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to sit on it a little bit longer and figure that out. But
yeah, I really do enjoy this Bruticus. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm really cheesy with my videos, but the cheese is what makes it fun for me, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. A little break from the crazy and the insanity of the world. And it's like I always learn something more about this guy. And the new thing I learned today is that you can actually take and push those little levers up and pop those little legs off if you want to. And then this thing will actually lock into place down here, and it still will not hinder your waist articulation whatsoever. So this is clean cut the best Bruticus to me, and that's a fine looking ass to be for sure. He's so cool, man. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you again for sticking with me this long. I hope you guys have a great week out there. Stay safe until all are one all.